Giannis Antetokounmpo, could he have played his final game in Milwaukee? The NBA world is bracing for a massive trade blockbuster that could completely shift the balance of power in the league. Giannis Antetokounmpo is on the move this summer, and right now, almost every major franchise in the NBA is after him. The Boston Celtics, the Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, the Miami Heat, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're all lining up. But what exactly do the Milwaukee Bucks want in return? And where does Giannis truly want to go? Today we're breaking down every single detail, because this offseason could witness one of the biggest trade operations in NBA history. Let's clear up the picture first. Bucks general manager Jon Horst made the situation crystal clear. Giannis will either sign a contract extension this fall or Milwaukee will trade him. Shams Charania also reported that the Bucks might look to move Giannis even before draft night. So this isn't just a rumor, this is the official start of a process. Giannis himself stated earlier this year, "I have at least 5 seasons left, and every decision I make is based on winning." If he wants to win, he needs to find the right destination. So, where is that destination? But first, let's look at an interesting variable. Giannis isn't the only superstar on the trade block this summer. Kawhi Leonard is available too. And this situation is directly impacting Giannis's trade value. Several front office executives see Kawhi and Giannis neck and neck as the best players to try to acquire on the market. Yes, Kawhi's years of injury woes and older age make him a massive risk. But it's not just about talent, it's about the price. The Milwaukee Bucks want a king's ransom for Giannis, looking for a franchise-altering package of 4 or 5 first-round draft picks, plus a premier top prospect who's ready to contribute. On the other hand, the Los Angeles Clippers might be content with just 1 or 2 draft picks for Kawhi. The question for opposing teams becomes, do you empty the asset cupboard for Giannis, or do you keep your depth and trade for Kawhi? The Bucks are fully aware of this dynamic. That's why Milwaukee might play a strategic waiting game, letting the Kawhi Leonard situation play out first. Once Kawhi is off the market, the teams that missed out, like Golden State, Minnesota, or Houston, will face immense pressure to drive up their offers for Giannis. The Golden State Warriors are fully prepared to go completely all in this summer to maximize the championship window for their 38-year-old legend, Steph Curry. Draymond Green is aging fast, and Jimmy Butler is trying to recover from a major ACL injury suffered last season. The Golden State dynasty might be over, but the front office views Giannis as the ultimate final move of the Steph Curry era. One intriguing mock trade scenario sends Jimmy Butler, young guard Brandon Podziemski, and multiple first-round picks to the Bucks. The biggest question mark here is whether Milwaukee would even want a 37-year-old Jimmy Butler coming off a major injury. However, Butler's $56 million contract is an expiring deal, which would provide the Bucks with massive financial flexibility to clear their cap space for the future. If you pair Steph Curry's gravity and playmaking with Giannis's unstoppable pressure at the rim, you potentially create the most dominant duo in NBA history. After sacrificing core players like Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks last offseason to land Kevin Durant, the Houston Rockets enter the summer with massive questions. This season was incredibly tough on them, with Fred VanVleet missing the entire year due to injury and the roster lacking Kevin Durant in the playoffs. Now, the Rockets front office wants to maximize Durant's win-now window by adding another surefire superstar to the mix. But the price to pay for Giannis will absolutely burn a hole in their pockets. According to a mock trade by analyst Jake Weinbach, Houston would have to give up a staggering package. The Rockets would receive Giannis Antetokounmpo, while the Bucks would receive Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, a 2027 first-round pick via the Phoenix Suns, a 2029 first-round pick, and a 2030 first-round pick swap. This framework would be a perfect rebuilding opportunity for Milwaukee, as young assets like Alperen Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. could easily form their future core. But for Houston, bringing in Giannis means gutting their future and trading away a franchise cornerstone like Sengun. Should the Rockets take such a massive risk, or is a Giannis and Durant duo worth sacrificing everything for an immediate championship run? Following a disappointing first-round exit in the 2026 NBA playoffs, the Boston Celtics might look for a radical move to return to the upper echelon of the league. Expectations around the league are that Boston will aggressively join the Giannis sweepstakes. In fact, Bill Simmons shared that Giannis might actually prefer Boston. Giannis has openly praised head coach Joe Mazzulla, admiring his culture and his refusal to make excuses. Reports suggest the Celtics could build a blockbuster deal around a Jaylen Brown for Giannis swap, But there is a glaring issue here. Just getting Brown back might not put Milwaukee in a position to rebuild properly, especially since Boston's future draft capital isn't appealing enough to entice the Bucks. That means Boston would need a third team to facilitate the deal. Portland becomes a very intriguing facilitator. If the Trailblazers want to land Jaylen Brown, they could route Deni Avdija to Milwaukee, along with the 2028 and 2030 Bucks draft swap rights they previously acquired in the Drew Holiday trade, returning those assets to the Bucks to make the deal work. However, not everyone thinks this is a smart move. Former Celtics forward Evan Turner warned Boston against trading Brown, stating that he prefers Brown's playoff availability and scoring down the stretch over the next few years. Plus, Turner points out that adding Giannis forces a team to completely take on his specific brand of basketball identity. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Cavaliers are another major player after falling into a 3-0 hole against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Cleveland will head into the offseason with an incredibly expensive roster as a first-apron team, making changes imminent. The Bucks will absolutely demand Evan Mobley and all of Cleveland's available draft picks. But according to Joe Vardon of The Athletic, Cleveland has shown zero interest in trading Mobley as of now. If Mobley is off the table, a package built around Jarrett Allen, Max Strus, and Dennis Schroeder is a non-starter for Milwaukee. Behind these main suitors, there are serious dark horse teams lurking in the shadows, ready to change the landscape of the sweepstakes at any moment. First, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Analyst Matt John believes Minnesota could be Boston's fiercest rival for Giannis. Having been so close to a title contender without quite getting over the hump, adding Giannis could push them straight to the top, though what they would sacrifice remains a total mystery. Next, the Washington Wizards. After trading for Anthony Davis and Trae Young last season, the Wizards are exploring their options. Backed by an intriguing young core, and having just secured the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft lottery, Washington could emerge as a dangerous dark horse looking to accelerate their timeline. Then, the Orlando Magic. Fans and analysts alike are debating a wild question. Would the Magic swap Paolo Banchero straight up for Giannis to instantly become legitimate title contenders? We also have the Miami Heat, who are always favorites in superstar sweeps. They are ready to offer their traditional package built around Tyler Herro, Andrew Wiggins, and the emerging young talent of Kel'el Ware, alongside future draft capital. Finally, the Oklahoma City Thunder. With an endless mountain of future draft picks and young assets, OKC could easily win any bidding war in seconds. However, coming off a potential championship run, it's unclear if they want to disrupt their core with such a risky, expensive move. This fall, Giannis Antetokounmpo is due to sign a massive 4-year, $275 million extension that will carry through his age 36 season. Whichever team acquires him is buying his prime and their entire future. So, who wins this historic sweepstakes? Will it be the Houston Rockets, sacrificing Alperen Sengun to pair Giannis with Kevin Durant? Will it be the Golden State Warriors, going all in for Steph Curry's final dance? Or will the Boston Celtics pull the trigger and part ways with Jaylen Brown? Will the Bucks actually commit to a full rebuild? Or can they convince Giannis to stay in Milwaukee? Now, I want to hear from you. Where do you think Giannis should land, and what should the Bucks accept in return? Let me know in the comments below, and let's get the debate started. You are in the right place for high-quality NBA deep dives. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and turn on notifications, because this offseason is going to be wild, and you won't want to miss a single second on Courtside Radar.